the first scout team drill that he ran, he absolutely picked apart our defense. And there was something about just his charisma, gave off, this confidence, and then you just saw it in his mechanics and just how quickly he got the ball out. I think that's one of Jimmy's best traits, is how quickly he can release the football, and it was just so noticeable in that first half.
Well, what do you think about how he handled the situation, given how difficult it was, given that he had a contract situation coming in the offseason?
He handled it beautifully. He came in, was a guy that was easy to talk to. He didn't shy away from questions. He wasn't too big for anybody. He wasn't just new guy on campus. I just got traded here, too good for anyone. He's been Jimmy the whole way through. He's never changed.
How far do you think that you run pre-snap over the course of the game?
That's a great question. I'd love to get the data.
Have you ever wondered about that? I mean, because you guys just move so much.
Yeah, I have wondered about it, but I haven't looked into what exactly the number is.
What is the strategic advantage for all the motions and shifts that Kyle does with the offense? How does that change things?
There's a reason, there's a purpose behind every movement that we do. It's not like we just do it because it looks cool.
Right.
Really what it does is a number of things. It can tell us what the coverage is. You can learn that by moving guys around and moving running backs outside of receivers and that sort of thing. Number two, you can put the defense in the position that you want them. You can dictate where they line up by how you motion. So coaches will look at previous games and how defenses line up to a certain formation, and then we can move to it to put them in that and take advantage of where we see weaknesses.
How many different spots on the formation have you lined up at?
Every single one of them. So anywhere that a skill position lines up. So wide, slot, wing, inline tight end, fullback, halfback.
Often on the same drive?
Yeah, I think versus Minnesota on the first drive, I lined up in 8 different positions or something like that. I read a stat on it earlier this morning. So yeah, I'm all over the place.
Now, there was a national narrative one time that George is really, after he catches the ball, there's not much of a blocker. When you guys hear something like that, what do you think when you know that?
We laugh at it, honestly. We absolutely laugh at it. I think George undoubtedly is the best blocking tight end in the NFL. And I think he proves it every week, and that he's not just moving around smaller guys. Like, he's moving around some of the best 6 techniques in the NFL, and he can do it by himself. It's not like he always needs to be, in a double team with the tackle next to him. He's extremely physical, and I don't know where that narrative came from. I think people sometimes pigeonhole you to one thing. If you're a good receiver, you can't be a good blocker, or vice versa. But I think George really is the real deal in both.
When you have a game where you throw the ball 8 times and you're one of the guys who does a lot of blocking and that type of stuff, what is it about you guys that we don't hear? I didn't get my touches, I didn't do whatever. We pass the ball 8 times and everybody's happy with the final result.
Man, it's so cool to just be a part of a team that there's no me guys. Everybody's so happy for each other. In the middle of that game when, again, we only threw 8 passes, Emmanuel Sanders and Debo are just, they're pushing each other, getting jacked up about the block they just made on the previous play. I mean, when do you see that from 2 wide receivers, especially a guy like Emmanuel who's 32 years old, has been the number 1 receiver, the star for his team, and here he is blocking linebackers and getting psyched about it. It's just motivating, and everybody just gets fired up from it. And the energy is contagious.
Where do you think that comes from, though? I mean, where do you think guys like Debo and Emmanuel and George, that they realize that it's non-negotiable here?
I think it starts with Kyle. I think that's just that's kind of his personality. He loves to embrace, the guy that doesn't always get all the media attention. He loves to point out, the grinders, the people who do the dirty work. So we celebrate that in our meetings and our huddles. And then I think Kyle and John just did a great job of, they hand-selected every guy that's here, and they look for a certain kind of person to be a part of their system. So I think they found the right guys to do that.
Kyle, what's your Bobby Turner?
Say it again?
What have you learned from Bobby Turner? What's it like doing it right
Man, Bobby T is the best in the business, man. He's taught me just how to how to be a professional, how to carry yourself. He's big on studying. He's famous for his pregame tests. Our tests are a good 8 pages long. And we have to fill out every single route that we have for every play that week, and fill out different pass blocking protections, explain it. He's a guy that he keeps you on your toes, and he's not scared to ask you questions directly. And he's just someone that's really refined my skills and really made me hone in on the little things. Katie's been absolutely phenomenal. For me personally, my interaction with her is usually just coming to her on questions about routes, because she works with the receivers. But just to see a female excel in this line of work, I think is inspiring for all of us, and just kind of lets everyone know that there's you can accomplish anything, and it doesn't matter what race, what age, what gender.
Kyle, last night you guys were having so much fun at opening night. The energy was contagious. You guys seemed laid back. How do you take that camaraderie and fun, but also flip that intensity switch come Sunday?
I really think that's been our team this whole year. We enjoy the good times, and we know how to have fun with one another, and we know how to stay loose. But when it's time to really kick things into gear and get intense, we do that. We embrace the work. So I don't think it's going to be too much different this week.
Kyle, what's your best story that illustrates Kyle Shanahan's offensive mastery? It could be something he told you in the meeting room or the field, or something you noticed.
It's tough being on the spot for an exact story, but I just think generally is when he points things out in install, just about basically like his predictions of this. When we run this play, like this defender is going to react this way, and like I guarantee you, this is going to be a touchdown. For example, last year when we played the Chargers, George scored like an 80-yard touchdown. He told us in install on Wednesday that CJ, if you look off the safety here, George's going to be wide open and he's going to take it to the house, and it's exactly how it played out. Or one of my favorite clips that came out, I think like last week, was when he was talking to the ref on the sideline, and he told him, hey, George is going to run a 5-yard stick, the defender's not going to let him get out, be ready for it, and literally the next second it happens. I think that just illustrates just his mind for the game.
Does he call his shots like that a lot?
He's the king of calling his shots, yeah.
But that's not just an offensive mastery. That's like a deep understanding of defense
Yeah.
too, and all of their tendencies and their responsibilities.
Yeah, I think that's one of Kyle's specialties is being able, his understanding of defenses. I think in order to be the successful play caller that he is, you do have to understand defenses just as well as you do with offense. And I think that's one of the things that he really stands out in.
Fullback position is disappearing from the league. What is your reaction to that?
Hopefully, I feel like it's going to start making its way back around. I think with the success that some of the best offenses in the league have had this year using the fullback, teams are going to start to emulate that, and I think we'll have a
But
resurgence.
some teams like the Patriots use the defensive player to play fullback, and we even score a touchdown sometimes.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, that maybe a team doesn't carry a fullback per se that's listed as a fullback, but there's always a guy that plays that position, whether it's a tight end, whether it's a offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, a linebacker. That spot on the field isn't going anywhere. You need someone that can run that position. Where some other teams might designate a guy that plays another position to do that as well. I do think that there will start to be more designated fullbacks.
Well, you start to play fullback in the beginning, or you end up with the fullback?
Say it again?
You start to play fullback from the beginning, or?
No, I didn't play fullback until I got to the NFL. I played tight end in college. Honestly, as more of like a slot receiver, but I knew I wasn't going to make it in the NFL as a 6'1" tight end that weighed 240 pounds. Like you have to be a little bit bigger to play tight end. So fullback was my way to get into the NFL. And once I got there, I knew that I would have an opportunity to show what else I could do. And that's kind of how it's worked out.
When you hear somebody say fullbacks are a dying breed, does that annoy you, or does that make you feel proud, or what?
And honestly, it's both. It's a little annoying because I feel like if you take a closer look, they are more involved than one might think. But then it also is a prideful thing because, you know, if I feel like if there were more guys that could play the position the way I do, then there would be more fullbacks. So I can really take it either way.
And with George Kittle, I mean, if you guys traded positions, could you both do equally as well?
I really do think so. Kyle jokes about it all the time that, you know, sometimes in install meetings, he'll accidentally say my name instead of George's, or he'll say George's name instead of mine, and we all kind of laugh, and then he'll just be like, he's like, it really doesn't make a difference. Either one of you could do it. So yeah, I do think that we could both play each other's positions.
How much does it affect an offense positively to have a tight end that does all like George, including the blocking?
Yeah.
You're calling an all-around guy. How much does that help you guys?
I think it's a huge help. When you can run to a tight end and not have to always be in a combination block with an offensive tackle or another tight end next to him, it's just an extreme advantage because in a lot of offenses, that tight end is really kind of, he's a wide receiver. So when you can get an extra blocker in there, and especially at one like George, who's so physical and dominating, it gives you an extra body.